Ever wondered what flight attendants really think of you once the cabin doors close? They're trained to smile through turbulence, tantrums, and tuna sandwiches, but behind that calm facade are pet peeves that drive them up the cabin walls. From seat switchers to bathroom blockers, some passengers turn a simple flight into a nightmare. And the worst part? Most don't even realize they're doing it. So before you adjust that tray table or kick off your shoes, you might want to know what silently earns you the dreaded eye roll at 35,000 feet. Let's just say some behaviors are flying way too close to the edge. You'd think wearing headphones and minding your own business would be the polite thing to do on a flight, right? Not exactly. One of the quickest ways to irritate a flight attendant is by disappearing into your own world during service. Picture this. The cart is rolling down the aisle. They've got 100 drink orders to remember, and when they get to your row, you're locked into a movie or pretending not to hear them. That simple pause slows everything down. Multiply that by a dozen passengers, and suddenly the service drags, tempers rise, and attendants are forced to repeat themselves like a broken intercom. They're not asking for deep conversation, just a little acknowledgement. A nod, a lifted earbud, a quick coffee, no sugar, keeps things flowing. What most passengers forget is that in-flight service isn't just about snacks, it's a safety routine too. Flight attendants need to observe passengers, check for issues, and ensure everyone's present and alert. When you ghost them mid-service, it's more than a social hiccup, it's a breakdown in protocol. So the next time you're deep into your playlist or binging that drama series, remember, pulling off one ear cup might earn you more than a drink. It might earn you the crew's silent respect. Boarding a plane might seem like a simple process line. Up, find your seat, stash your bag, but for flight attendants, it's a timed operation with zero room for chaos. And nothing throws that process off faster than passengers who treat the boarding window like a personal errand break. You've probably seen it. Someone steps onto the plane, takes one look around, and then makes a beeline for the lavatory. Sounds harmless, but here's what really happens. While that person's in the bathroom, the line behind them stalls. Attendants can't complete their seat count, and everyone's timing gets thrown off. Even worse, that lavatory is being prepped, cleaned, restocked, and turned over like a pit-stop pan. Suddenly, someone's in there mid-process. Then there are the passengers who show up with more luggage than a moving truck. They hoist roller bags, laptop cases, gym totes, and duty-free bags into any bin they can find, regardless of row, creating a domino effect of frantic reshuffling. Crew members are left playing baggage Tetris, all while trying to keep the aisle clear and passengers seated before takeoff. Every minute counts during boarding. So when you use that time to run to the bathroom or claim every overhead bin like it's your own, you're not just delaying the plane, you're setting the tone for a stressful flight. Before wheels even leave the ground, the cabin might look like a calm, sterile bubble, but the air inside is recycled, pressurized, and shared by every single passenger. That means whatever smell you introduce into that sealed tube instantly becomes everyone's new reality. One person cracks open a tuna sandwich, and suddenly row 14 smells like a seafood market. Another slips off their shoes to reveal socks that have clearly seen too many airport miles. And the result is a silent suffering shared by the entire cabin crew. Flight attendants might not say anything, they're trained to stay professional, but the winces and deep breaths give it away. And it's not just food or feet. Heavy cologne, reheated leftovers, nail clipping, and even brushing hair in your seat turn personal habits into public offenses. It's easy to forget you're in a confined space with strangers, but that's exactly why courtesy matters more here than anywhere else. The cabin crew can't open a window or light a scented candle to fix it. They just have to push through. So if you wouldn't wear it, eat it, or do it in a crowded elevator, don't try it at cruising altitude. The nose you offend might be connected to To the person serving your next drink, there's an art to keeping service efficient on a flight. And it all starts with passengers being prepared, but too often, that's not the case. Flight attendants approach with the cart. The menu's been available for over an hour, and somehow the moment they arrive, that's when someone decides to start reading it. Or worse, they look up blankly and ask, "So, what do you have?" Imagine repeating the same menu options to 50 people who had all the time in the world to glance at the options beforehand. It's frustrating. It slows everything down, and it puts pressure on the crew to keep pace. Then there are the passengers who treat the call button like a personal concierge. One push for water, another for a snack, then again 5 minutes later. For a napkin, flight attendants aren't being rude when they take a little longer to respond. They're just prioritizing real needs over constant requests that could have been handled all at once. And while the crew is moving non-stop, the last thing they need is someone trying to hand them trash mid-service when they're clearly balancing drinks and trays. A little awareness goes a long way. If you come prepared, know what you want, and wait for the right time to speak up, you make their job smoother and everyone's flight a little faster. You spot an empty row mid-flight and think, you've hit the jackpot, but hold that thought. Switching seats once the plane is in the air might seem like a harmless move for comfort, but it creates a ripple of issues that most passengers never consider. Weight distribution on a plane is calculated and carefully monitored. When passengers move without notifying the crew, it can affect balance, especially on smaller aircraft. And it's not just about weight. Emergency protocols are tied to where people are seated. Each row has specific responsibilities in case of an evacuation. And unapproved seat swaps confuse the head count, delay service, and can even violate safety regulations. Flight attendants are trained to track who's where for a reason. Throwing that off mid-flight is not just inconvenient, it's potentially dangerous. It also sends a message that you're not respecting the process or the people managing it. Want more legroom? Book it. Want a row to yourself? Ask the gate agent before boarding. But once you're airborne, treat your seat like a commitment. Playing musical chairs at 35,000 feet might seem clever, but to the crew, it's just another headache. They didn't need one more thing pulling focus from keeping everyone safe and on schedule. Some passengers don't just cross the line, they leap over it mid-air. And when that happens, flight attendants are often the first in the line of fire. Air rage incidents have been climbing in recent years, with videos surfacing of travelers yelling, pushing, even physically assaulting crew members or fellow passengers. One viral moment showed a woman yanking another passenger's hair and spitting during a seat dispute, an altercation so intense the flight had to be rerouted. These aren't isolated moments. They're becoming more common, and the toll they take on flight attendants is massive. What many people forget is that attendants aren't just there to serve drinks. They're trained in conflict resolution, de-escalation, and emergency protocols. But even the best training can't fully prepare someone for being cursed at, recorded, without consent, or shoved during turbulence. Flight attendants have been punched, kicked, screamed at all while trying to maintain calm in a metal tube hurtling through the sky. These incidents don't just ruin the mood, they endanger lives. That's why airlines have tightened policies and banned passengers mid-flight for aggressive behavior. If you think being a bit loud or confrontational is no big deal, think again. On a plane, one outburst can trigger a chain reaction no one signed up for. Flying doesn't have to be a battle of wills at 35,000 feet. The little things, acknowledging the crew, packing smart, keeping smells in check, and following simple rules make a big difference. For flight attendants juggling safety, service, and sanity, respectful passengers are the ones who stand out in the best way. So next time you board, skip the chaos and travel like someone who gets it. Because behind every polite smile is a human being just trying to make your flight safe and smooth. And trust us, They remember who made their job harder and who actually made it better.